Hey everyone, Jordan here from ThatCarLife, and today I'm going to be busting Australia's top 5 car law myths. So whether you're an Australian yourself or if you're someone overseas, you've definitely heard about how strict the Aussie car laws are, or you've heard about some of the crazy laws that us car enthusiasts in Australia have to deal with. But some of these myths are just that, they're myths. And in this video, I'm going to be busting some of them for you, and some of these might actually blow your mind. Some of them, when I was researching for this video, I genuinely believed in these, and finding out that they weren't actually real and weren't true honestly shocked me. And I'm sure you guys can see in the background, I've got my S15 Silvia behind me. The regular viewers on the channel will know, but in case you haven't seen it, this is my S15 Silvia Spec R. Got a Vertex bar, 326 wing, some mad Speedworks wheels on here as well. This car was just washed, detailed and cleaned by Mobile Shines, and he did an absolutely amazing job. So I'll put all this stuff in the description if you want to check him out. I'm really stoked with it. So if you guys like S15s and want to see some mad content on these kind of cars, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So the first myth I'm going to bust is that P-platers in Australia cannot drive turbo cars. If you're overseas and you're not sure what a P-plater is, basically in Australia, when you first get your license, you get your L's, your learners, for about a year, where you have to have someone with you while you're driving. After that, you have your P-plates for a few years, where there's quite a few restrictions, where you can't have a certain amount of people in the car after a certain period of time. Your speed limit's capped, like you can't go over 90 k's an hour. You can't even use hands-free, Bluetooth phone in your car, like a whole bunch of restrictions. But one big thing that a lot of people think is that P-platers can't drive turbo cars, like the S15, for example. But I'm here to tell you that that myth is busted. So for P-platers to actually be able to drive a turbocharged car, the law does differ depending on what state in Australia that you're in. Pretty sure in the ACT in Canberra, they can drive anything, like there's no limits at all. But in most states in Australia, they have power to weight ratio exemptions for the turbo cars that you can drive. And a lot of people don't actually know this, but the S15 Silvia, the Australian delivered one, is P-plate legal. In New South Wales, if the car's power to weight ratio is under 130 kilowatts per ton, it is P-plate legal. And the 200SX ADM S15 falls under that category. So this S15 is an Australian delivered 200SX, which means it's P-plate legal. And I bought this car on my Ps. Had like a month left of my green Ps, and I was legally driving an S15. So I know a lot of people out there just think P-platers can't drive anything turbocharged or V8 or whatsoever, but if it falls under that power to weight ratio exemption, you might actually be able to drive that turbo or V8 car that you want. So another massive Australian car law myth that's been going around, this one's especially for the people overseas, is that you can't modify a car at all in Australia. But guys, that is a myth that is also busted. So don't get me wrong, the car laws in Australia and the modified car laws, they definitely are strict for sure, but there are a lot of ways that you can still legally modify your car and do some pretty huge modifications too, but also have it done legally. So there is something you can do where it's called engineering. So in Australia, you can get an engineering certificate for some modifications. This can include engine swaps, suspension, exhaust work, turbo upgrades, all of these kind of things you can actually get engineered. The only thing is, it is quite expensive. So if you are going to get your car engineered, you do have to cough up quite a bit of money. Like it can be up in the thousands of dollars. But I know in New South Wales, for example, like if a police car scans your number plate, it basically pops up and says this car is engineered already. They see it in their system. You can have your paperwork on you if you get pulled over. Basically, a cop can go through your car and you can just hand over your engineering paperwork and you're on your way. You're in and out without a defect. So it is something you can do, but obviously it's very time consuming. There's a lot of money involved. But for a lot of you viewers overseas that think you can't modify it at all in Australia, there's definitely still a way to do it. But because the laws are so strict, it's definitely a big process to work around it and actually make it legal, but it is possible still. So that's another massive car law myth busted. So as a lot of you guys know, Australia has a massive culture around burnouts. Like we've got Summer Nats Festival every year that's been going on for decades, and Australia is definitely known for doing some of the best and most insane burnouts. So there's definitely a big burnout culture in Australia for sure. And a common myth that a lot of people believe in Australia, and honestly until just recently I thought this was true as well, is that you can do burnouts on your own private property. Like if it's your land, you can do as big of a skid as you want, and it's private property, so nothing can happen to you. You can't get in trouble. I honestly believe this for quite a long time. So after researching for this video, I was actually shocked to find out that it actually is a myth. There are laws in all these different states in Australia that basically mean if you're doing a burnout on private property, you can still get done. You can get a fine, you can get in trouble by the police, which is pretty nuts. But the reason why is, I have it here. In Victoria, there's the Road Safety Act, and police can fine you or actually impound your car as well if they believe that your burnouts are causing a nuisance or danger to the public, including from private land. What that basically means is you're on private property, but there's lots of smoke, lots of noise, and the smoke's going onto a road or something like that. That's considered a public nuisance, and you can still get done, you can still get fined, or even get your car seized or something like that, even if it's on private property. It's not just for Victoria only, like Queensland, New South Wales, they've all got similar laws that all are basically around the same thing. If you're doing that burnout and it's causing a nuisance to the public, you can still get done even if it's on private property. So this one really blew me away, because until until just now, I genuinely thought that you could do it on private property wherever you are. So that is a big myth that has been busted. So another massive car law myth in Australia is that you can't lower your car at all. It's completely illegal to lower your car. You can't do it. But that is a myth. So some of you guys may not know, but in Australia, you can legally lower your car, but there is a limit. The limit is about 100 mil. So normally that's compared to a Coke can, which I don't have. But if a Coke can stand up and go underneath your car and not hit anything, that means that your ride height is legal. I know that's the case in New South Wales. I'm not sure about other states. It might differ. It is definitely legal to lower your car. You just got to know your limit. That's definitely a huge myth, especially for the people overseas. So yeah, we can still lower our cars here, but obviously within a certain limit. So that's another huge myth that's been busted. So the last big Australian car law myth that I'm going to be telling you guys about is that you don't need car insurance when you're driving in Australia. So I know a lot of the people overseas might think that as well, because I think overseas, maybe in America, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't actually have to drive with insurance. A lot of countries do allow that. But in Australia, no matter what state you're in, it is 100% illegal to drive without any insurance on your car. So this insurance is mandatory in every single state, and it's called CTP, or compulsory third-party insurance, which covers you if you seriously injure or kill someone while you're driving. And basically every car on the road, no matter what state you're in, needs this for the car to be on the road. And this insurance is actually separate from your main comprehensive insurance on the car. So you might try and just get your own normal insurance and try and get away with it and register it, but you actually can't. If you don't have that CTP, the government will not let you register your car. And if you're driving around without it, you're at risk of getting fined thousands of dollars or getting charged. So it's definitely a massive thing here in Australia, and the government and police take it very, very seriously. A lot of people overseas can drive around without insurance, but in Australia, at the very least, you need that CTP third-party insurance on top of everything else. So being able to drive a car without insurance is a massive car law myth, especially for the people overseas. That has been busted. So that was Australia's top 5 car law myths that have been busted. And if there was any of these myths that shocked you, or you didn't believe it or didn't expect it whatsoever, please comment it down below. Really curious to see if you guys actually knew about these myths or not. And if there's anything else that I may have missed as well, let me know in the comments down below. I'm keen to hear all these different car law myths that a lot of people believe but aren't actually true, especially in Australia. And if you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more car related content on the Australian car scene, my personal builds including the S15 and a whole bunch of other sick content that we got coming up, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It does us an absolute solid, and we're on that grind trying to hit 10K before the end of the year, and I know that we can do it. We're going to keep on that grind and make it happen, and all of your support so far, it really means the world, guys. I appreciate it so much. So I'll leave the video there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that for more, and I'll see you in the next one on That Car Life.